We'll have a call to order. Please call the roll.
Mr. Barker?
Here.
The mayor?
Here.
And myself.
At this time, do we have any,
You might, so the court reporter can get it, mention this, the case name and
Okay.
number that you got here.
all right, this is case number 2018-01, Short versus Stratemeyer. At this time, do we have any public comment? If hearing none, does either side have any motions or pleadings or briefs or other documents to make or file at this time?
Respond to that candidate, Sam Stratemeyer.
All right,
You want me to present those to you?
please.
I've given a copy of this to Mr. Kruger.
Okay. That's all right, Mr.
That's
Turner.
right, yeah.
Just leave it down there and we'll pick it up later. We'll probably knock the rest of them down before we finish it.
On behalf of Charles Short, petitioner objector, I'm filing a brief of the memorandum of law that applies and a proposed order. And I have provided copies of those documents to Mr. Turner previously.
Mr. Kruger, how much time will you need to file responses? Is this it?
Those are not responses, Mr. Mayor, those are separate motions.
Okay.
I would think 2 days would be adequate. Probably could do it sooner than that.
And you have filed your documents, Mr. Kruger. Have you provided them with Mr. Turner?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Turner, how long will you need for a response?
Well, actually, the documents that he files a proposed order, which would be entered, if at all, by this tribunal at the end of the proceedings.
Today.
Yeah, so I don't think that I would respond to that directly. What was the other document you
The
filed?
memorandum of law, which I provided to you.
And the memorandum of law, he has provided both those documents to me, but the memorandum, I think, is premature because it's a memorandum of law, and I think it's based on testimony intended to be presented, if I'm not mistaken.
You're mistaken.
Okay. I would respond to those, but I think it's gonna be whatever time you give Mr.
Okay. Mr. Abel, do you have anything at this time?
Well, I was just gonna clarify, if the, I wanna make sure we address Mr. Turner's question. As I understand it, you would want an opportunity to present a memorandum of law
Yes.
at some point in time,
Yes,
and and I guess a proposed order or something whenever they get to the when or if wherever they get to the resolution of this and
absolutely.
following evidentiary hearing. All right. So you're not asking for any particular, it's not a response to the memorandum of law, you'll submit yours and.
Yes, right, I submit one, I don't think,
Okay.
I'm not ready to do that, I don't believe it's appropriate to do that at this point.
All right. Well, okay, so, I believe, either party can submit their memorandums of law and their proposed orders at whatever time, but that'll be up to the board. The motion, given the motion to disqualify, I know it's directed at Mr. Kruger and at myself, that would put me in a difficult position to advise the board on a motion directed at myself. So at this juncture, what I'm going to advise the board is that Mr. Turner's filed his motion, Mr. Kruger's going to file a response. that the board's asked for to that motion. I'm going to recuse myself because you'll have to rule on that motion. You are going to need the motions that you have. This motion, future motions you may receive are going to require both consideration of facts, but also input on the law. So you're going to need advice in those areas. So I'm going to recommend that you hire outside counsel to move forward. I'll recuse myself, and you can hire outside counsel to move forward with this. Because you've not made, up to this point, you've not made any rulings on any motions. There's nothing substantive taking place. No evidence has been heard, nothing, no rulings. And I think both parties probably acknowledge that nothing substantive is taking place. So.
We would acknowledge that there's nothing substantive taking place.
Nothing that I'm aware of at this
Okay.
point.
So, that would be my advice to the board, is that I recuse myself, you hire outside counsel, and then you can move forward with ruling on motions and taking care of the rest of the case.
Well, at this time, knowing that we are going to, as a board, to go to outside, hiring of outside counsel, the board will continue the subpoenas that have been issued. If you have any received a subpoena from one or both of the parties, it will be necessary for you to come back when the board sets this matter for a hearing of the evidence. The parties will be responsible for giving the witnesses reasonable notice of that date when it has been set by the board. Any question on this matter?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Turner?
No, sir.
That sounded pretty good though, Richard.
Maybe she's considering.
After all this, I may be ready.
Okay, sure.
All right. At this time, if there's no other matters to be there, I would ask for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
I second.
Meeting adjourned. Call the roll.
Mr. Bartow?
Yes.
The mayor?
Yes.
And myself? Yes.
Meeting adjourned.